Hi, and welcome to the Planet Driven Brands podcast. In this show, we will be discussing with our guests how the brands they represent can help in the drive to build a better, more sustainable and safer planet. We will highlight brands as drivers for change and the role they play as influencers. Our podcast will ask two simple questions of our guests. What makes a brand planet driven? And what are the brands actually doing about this? Can brands actually live up to our expectations or even the lofty aims some of them make? How will brands positively impact the planet and its environment? This is what we're going to find out. Planet Driven Brands podcast, episode 0. Today's guest is me, Nic Jones. I'm going to talk about the Planet Driven Brands podcast and what it means and what it's all about. What exactly is the Planet Driven Brands podcast all about? Very simply put, we are interested in how brands can influence positive change to drive us towards a better planetary environment for all. We will invite people from across the spectrum to come and tell us how this may be achieved. I can't really tell you how it will all pan out, except to say I'm excited about what we may achieve together. If you're listening, then I guess you're interested in what myself and my guests have to say. I expect everyone to be connected by a common interest in how brands can and will shape the planet and how they can be an influence in change. There cannot be any doubt as to the power of brands and the role they can play in people's lives. But not just people. Their influence spreads to the rest of the animal kingdom, the environment, the climate, the ocean, and everything else in our connected ecosystem. It is quite a responsibility to bear, but bear it we must, as consumers continue to demand more from their relationships and, dare I say, partnerships with their preferred brand choices. Not everyone who is listening will share my point of view, and I welcome this. We need to have the debate, and I look forward to being challenged on my belief system and have my opinion swayed by the reality of someone else's endeavours, research, experience or knowledge. We will not be making political statements. This isn't a forum for this, but we start from the premise that the planet and its climate is in crisis. This is the one fact upon which this series of shows is based. The alternative view is not going to be debated here. What's the role of brand in driving planetary change? Many consumers are making steps to change their behaviour in order to make their contribution to alleviating the climate crisis. It may be turning off lights, walking to work, eating less meat, buying organic, or a whole host of other things. But whilst these may, in many cases, be small steps, the fact is that change is being enforced on services and products which supply them. This is highlighted in the huge growth in sales of plant-based food and drink in many nations. Consumers have seen that their small inputs can help drive sizable change. This in turn affects supply chains, procurement, planning, research and development, innovation and communications. Brands that are planet-driven will be at the forefront of this change. So, what is a planet-driven brand? There's no hard and fast rule, as far as I'm concerned, except to say that the planet-driven brand is expected to be changing, building, growing or developing something within their organisation which delivers a positive impact, not just on their brand and business, but on the planet itself. And this can be a human impact or animal or environmental. We're all connected. Is this too much to ask? Listen, nobody or no thing is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all have imperfections. Most of us try really hard to be better. And for me, a few million small steps to better is much more important than one or two large steps where we may get bogged down by competition to be perfect, or even dogma. Some brands have been what they are for decades, even centuries, and to unpick this and deliver something new will be far more difficult than for those that are just starting out and who can grow organically. I will celebrate the old as much as the new. We're all in this together. I want to applaud every brand that is striving for better, whether that be through replacing ingredients, improving sourcing, the way we treat our suppliers, or even our own staff. Planet-driven brands are those that are making steps to improve all or part of where they are in their planetary impact, whether that be through improved sustainability, circularity, a focus on waste, packaging formats, or how they choose media for communications. In this series of podcasts, we want to hear how these brands are achieving their goals. Some will be a long way ahead of others, but as I said, I am just as interested in the small steps as I am in the big picture. It won't just be brands we talk to. Personally, I'm particularly interested in how agencies will step up in the way they partner their clients, and I'm excited that we should be able to bring you some great guests in this arena. I'm also searching out experts, those people who can advise brands how they can improve, and who have already helped shape change. We want to discuss investment with financiers, and we also want to talk to those that are affected by the changes perhaps being forced upon them. For example, how do farmers and suppliers feel about the New World Order? How do fossil fuel companies and their employees feel? All of this affects the consumer-facing brand and should be discussed. For me, we can't ignore the side effects of our movement. Everyone should be helped along the journey, and I really hope I can deliver both sides. Essentially, though, I want to celebrate what's coming, to emphasise the positive if we can. Much is made in modern marketing of purpose, and all brands define themselves by their purpose and subsequently must live up to it. Brands play such an important part in our lives, and as a result have a key responsibility to behave in a way that consumers expect, not to greenwash, and in fact that must be a great podcast for the future, but to take steps to act out their purpose. This is crucial. We are going to find out just how they are going about doing this. Thank you. We so look forward to growing together. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. The Planet Driven Brands podcast is the brainchild and copyright of Nic Jones and is broadcast in partnership with theplanetsagency.com. Planets Agency is a partnership of consultants and communications experts. We build planet-driven brands. During the series of shows, we'll be hearing from more experts and we would love for you to be involved. Please do comment or come back to us with questions. We'll be happy to engage. If you wish to be notified when our episodes are broadcast, please subscribe on the website. If you'd like to be part of the show, we'd love to hear from you. We look forward to many more entertaining episodes. Thanks again for listening.